Impact is a popular Chinese gacha game that came out around 2020 in either September or October. Currently in the game, the regions are Mondstadt, Liyue, and Inazuma. The next region that's going to be implemented is Sumeru. So far, we've seen a few of the characters from Sumeru. There are some supposed characters, quote-unquote supposed characters, that have not been officially revealed. And this has caused a lot of discourse within the fandom pertaining to the skin colors. Currently, the only one that does have a brown skin color is Daja, and she's a very light, faint touch of brown. So, because of this discourse, there's also been a lot of gaslight that has been happening. There has been people that have been assuming that if you're complaining about the skin color, you're either white, Westerner, or you're influenced by the West. I find this to be really, really insulting because it tends to ignore a lot of people's voices, and it makes it seem as if people don't have their own independent thought. Whenever you're saying, oh, if you're not Westerner, you're just influenced by the West. It also ignores the fact that racism and colorism happens around the world. It's not something that's exclusive to the West. There even were some people that were gone as far as to say, but there's pale people in India and Egypt. Stop trying to erase them. Stop trying to erase the pale NPCs and the pale playable characters in Sumeru. Despite the fact that nobody really was trying to erase these characters, people were just saying that they wanted to see more brown characters. Especially after the fandom kept telling people to wait for Sumeru because Sumeru was going to have brown characters. Now Sumeru is here, and currently we only have like one playable brown character. And I think some of the NPCs might be brown too. I think that was a change that Genshin did make. Hopefully, if it's a real change, that's good. Another thing that I found to be particularly weird about this discourse was there were people that were saying that MiHoYo doesn't care about skin color. Skin color didn't matter. But I thought it was really funny considering in MiHoYo's other title, Honkai Impact, there's a character named Carol Peppers who's canonly black, who hates her skin color and her culture. They also portray Carol's mother in a very strange, stereotypical, rather anti-black manner. Carol's mother is a dark-skinned woman, which is fine. But she's portrayed as very masculine and buff, which is not okay because that is a common stereotype that people have for dark-skinned women. I know folks like to give MiHoYo the benefit of the doubt and say they're not racist, but the way they portray Carol and her mother is very racist. I think it's really interesting how there's so many fans that say skin color doesn't matter and it's unimportant and how, MiHoYo doesn't care, but they added that weird dialogue for Carol Peppers, which, again, that also did not push along the game at all. They didn't have to add that dialogue. They didn't have to make her dislike her skin color. I'm just going to assume that most people didn't know about this situation, which is why most people don't talk about it. I would say one thing, like if we're talking about skin color not pushing along the story, that's one thing that didn't push along that story. Now, with Genshin Impact, considering the current regions we have out now correlates to real world counterparts, like Mondstadt correlating to Europe, Liyue correlating to China, and Inazuma correlating to Japan, it would make sense to have characters look like they're representing regions. There are a lot of people that was arguing against this, saying the game wasn't based off of real life or didn't have elements from real life, despite the fact, we see those elements from real life in the game and within the lore and with the character names and even the foods. MiHoYo even has a website called Tyvet Notes where they post the real world recipes for the real foods. For instance, like the tricolor dango. Dango is a real food that they eat in Japan. They have a recipe for that on Tyvet Note. I also find it really funny when people say Genshin is not political, despite the fact there was mention of war, like the Archon War. There was a power struggle with the people and with Raiden pertaining to the Vision Hunt Decree and the Resistance, and we also see how each Archon runs their nations. They all run it differently. This is political in nature. There was quite a lot of fans that kept telling me to go on Twitter to see this quote-unquote SJW discourse that was going on. So I logged into Twitter and I had to keep on typing in different things to try to find the supposed discourse. Because every time I looked at it, I saw people that was excited for Sumeru, fan art of characters from Sumeru, and people having regular healthy discussions about how the character designs was and their disappointments or their excitements for the character. Now, I did see some toxicity going on, but it was mainly from, like, the weeaboos. I kept seeing people, like, finding random posts, which nothing was wrong with the posts that they were finding. Everything was wrong with what the weeaboos were saying. It's like they were attacking these people, calling them SJWs for just simply disliking, the direction that Genshin went in with character designs. Or they were going on people posts, attacking them and calling them snowflakes and all kind of other names. I've even seen some people, some people came on my Facebook posts. I've made a few Facebook posts in a group that I'm in. I've seen some people, say that we're being too entitled and we shouldn't be entitled. But why wouldn't we be entitled when some of us put our money into this game, we promote it, and we do fan art? We should very much so be entitled. If people can complain about the anniversary and review bomb it, which I'm not saying go and do that to the game now, people can very much so complain about this skin color issue. I just find it so funny. Like, some of the same people who reviewed bummed the game last year for the anniversary are some of the same people that's telling us, oh, this doesn't matter. Oh, this isn't important. Yes, it is. It may not be important to you, but it is important to some of us. We're not saying we're going to delete the game and we're going to stop playing it, but this is just something that we wanted Genshin to improve on. We can't even just normally complain about the character's design outside of race, because even then, people still get attacked. I've seen people get attacked for saying, the character designs don't look that good. Or how Kusalani is just an eyesore. She sticks out and don't fit. Honestly, these character designs really don't look as good as the other regions they feel half done. Some of them look like reskins. They look like VTubers, which I have no problem with VTubers, but these characters, a lot of them just don't fit to me compared to the other regions. They just look weird outside of skin color. They just look strange and not really in a good way. But I'm still excited for Sumeru and stuff. Currently, Sumeru as a region, it looks really nice. I know they're going to add more characters later on down the line. Hopefully they're brown. There has been news about the game adding brown NPCs to that region. So hopefully it's good. I still don't have the highest expectations for Genshin in terms of skin color, but hopefully they do listen to what the fans are saying and take our advice for the game. Because I actually really do enjoy this game and hope it has a great future.